G'day everyone, it's Zorine T from Yahoo Esports. Joining me is Chad Burchill, aka Spunj. How you going, mate?
G'day. Yeah, I'm pretty good. How are you?
Good, thanks. How's everything going?
Yeah, it's going all right. The event's been pretty good so far. Everything's good here in Vegas. Bit of a change, but yeah.
Is it your first time in Vegas?
No, definitely not. When I was in Renegades, we were actually I shouldn't say living here. I might get deported by the American government. But we were stationed in downtown, in the downtown Grand, for about 6 months on and off. So I got used to that area of town. Not really the main part of the strip, but it's good to be back.
And you're here as an analyst. How do you find the whole transition going from like a player to now an analyst?
I think my stress levels now are much more manageable. When I was playing, it was very stressful. You know, there was a lot of pressure, especially being the premier Australian team. The whole country behind you wanting you to do well, and when you do poorly, you're down on yourself already, and then to feel like you let a whole country down kind of sucks. A lot of prep work as well because I was the in-game leader of the team and stuff, so there was a lot more than just playing and shooting people. But doing the analyst stuff is a lot of fun. I still get to go to all the events, which is awesome. You get to socialize with all the people, and I still get to do Counter-Strike as my job, so it's great.
Was that sort of the plan? Like, did you think that you would become an analyst eventually, or was it something that just sort of happened as an opportunity came up?
I definitely wanted to go into this line of work in terms of being in Counter-Strike in some form, whether it was being a coach of a team or being in more of a role where I was looking at the bigger picture and not actually having to play. That's definitely where I wanted to go. I want to continue in esports for as long as I can, or at least within the computer game realm. It's better than being a plumber like I was at home. I'm over the hard work. I don't want to go back to that. The physical attributes of having a tan and being fitter are good, but other than that, it's not much fun.
Now, I want to go back to looking back at your time at Renegades. I guess if you could throw your mind back, at what point did you feel like, hey, I don't want to be a player anymore? Was there a particular moment that kind of sealed that deal for you?
I would always talk to Gomez, Chris, the team manager, about it, and as I was feeling like, he said to me, when you feel like you can't contribute anything more to the team, then it's probably time to retire, right? And it got to that point after we had a couple of losses in a row, and I felt like I was the problem in the team, and I felt that I couldn't contribute more. And to go from playing with a team that I basically built the legacy with those guys, and it was my family, it was so hard to see myself rebuilding something, especially within Australia. And to take a risk and hopefully get picked up by a North American side or a European side, it's a huge risk. And especially with how poorly I played in those last few months, it didn't seem like too much of an option. So I don't know when. It was a feeling that I had for a little, like maybe 2 months, you know, and when things didn't get better, it was like, this has to happen. So the best for everyone, I think.
You also said that you considered becoming a coach for a team. What team would you have wanted to coach for?
I had a couple of offers from some lower tier North American teams, but I would have wanted to try and tackle a bigger fish. You know, I wanted, if I had to rebuild and start from the beginning, it would have been a lot of work. Not that I wanted to avoid that, but I thought that I could contribute straight away to a good team. So if Cloud9 wanted a coach at the time or something like that, that would have been an option I would have looked at, but nothing like that came up for me. So I'm doing this now, but I suppose there's still options in the future.
Do you feel like as an analyst sometimes you kind of have to, I mean, like it's a professional thing, like you got to censor yourself a bit and hold back on some things that you would usually want to say?
Yeah, I'm actually pretty good at that, I think. Like when I do my streams and stuff, I'm a lot more liberal with my swear words. But doing this, it seems easy not to swear, right? I kind of put it on with the streaming stuff and be a bit more acha than normal. But with the whole analyst thing, I don't get behind the suits. You're never going to see me wearing a suit. I just a t-shirt, rolled up sleeves. I still look better than normal, but yeah, that's as far as I'll go, I think.
Please explain to people who may not know watching this video what acha means.
Just very Australian, I suppose. It's a hard one to define. When I say like cobber and stuff to the guys, like, what are you talking about? Oh, it's just another term for mate. So, and there's so many things I say, like, oh, I'm going to go grab a sanger. Like, and I'm not even meaning to take the mick. It just comes out of my mouth, and I don't think I'd ever say that at home, which is strange.
Yeah, I totally get that too. How does it feel now seeing Renegades competing and still carrying on as they are?
I haven't actually physically seen them at the event so far because I've just been in the green room and doing the desk segments. So it kind of sucks that I haven't seen them yet, but it's good to see them continuing. I obviously want to see them do well. I just think they're in a really rough place at the moment as a team, swapping out Ricky for acha, a Swedish player. It's not that it goes against like what we wanted to build as a team. I think it's great they're willing to diversify. It's just a very interesting and odd move, I think, and everyone in the community looks at it the same way. I'd love to talk to them later in the event, but I haven't seen them yet, so I'll have to tee something up.
I mean, it's kind of an odd move to me as well because it feels like Renegades was like the Australian dream, right? And now they kind of stuck, like Ricky's out kind of thing. Like, doesn't that seem kind of like counterintuitive, I guess?
Yeah, this acha move might be temporary. You know, it was probably easier to grab someone from Europe than trial a couple of players from Australia and stuff. I think for the team, they just want to win, right? So they're going to do whatever they think is the best move to win. It's sad that they're not the Australian team anymore, or it can't be seen that way. But hey, we've got Winter Fox there, like New Zealand, so they're basically ours anyway.
You mentioned before that it would have been hard for you to leave the team and try and build up something in Australia. I guess my question is, why do you think the Australian CS scene, like we know there are a lot of talented players there, we know it's a very active scene, but like for some reason it's just not breaking into the global market. What do you think's holding it back?
Money? Money's the number one factor, right? So these kids, when I was home for a short period of time, it was about 2 months, I was playing a lot of games with them just because didn't have anything better to do. And I got to see like the next generation of guys who have come up and the way that they've developed without Renegades being there to like leech off, right? Because normally when you play against a better opponent, you learn. They've been doing it all themselves, and I was really impressed with where they've gotten to on their own. The only thing I think they need is more money to get these opportunities, to be able to go to boot camps, to be able to fly to different events around the world, to get that recognition. And the other main thing, I've been harping on about this for like the last 3 years, is the Asian scene needs to take off. And hopefully Valve, with their initiative to start licensing the game in China and stuff, will see more opportunities for Australian teams to compete in Asia and then springboard to the rest of the world. Because to go from Australia to the rest of the world is such a big leap. At least to play in Asia, you get that international experience without having to go up against the likes of Astralis and SK and stuff like that.
It's kind of weird because, when Renegades first was signed and the news broke and, everyone in Australia was so excited, including myself, and I was like, finally, this is it. We've finally got an Aussie team going global, and I thought many others would follow in their footsteps, but it doesn't seem like that's kind of happened. I don't know if you saw, but, like Thorin released a video recently talking about Australian players, and they're feeling like they need to integrate more with the NA scene. What do you think about that?
I definitely think, I watched that video as well, and I've spoken to him in the green room about that, and I think that JKS and acha could basically plug and play in any NA team as a role player, and they could even become stars. I think those two guys are, in my mind anyway, the standouts, right? I think Yam can be an effective AWPer. I don't think he can have like the super constant carry level of like a Kenny S AWPer, but he can be really effective in finding picks and stuff. And then Ustillo is a guy who we brought in as another solid, similar to acha player. So I think they all have talent. I think right now, when I watch Renegades play, I don't ever see a standout star, a consistent star. And that's the difference between, like, you watch a team like North or Astralis, and then like Magic's Boy, Config, and then you've got Device. They're all like stars, and they're constantly standout stars, and only very rarely do the other players need to supplement their star performances. Where in Renegades, you never know who's going to top frag or who's going to win the clutches to win the game. And it's a good thing when you can have a team like that, but not if you have really bad games where no one gets any kills. So I think if JKS and acha are looking for more immediate success, then probably try and integrate into the US scene. But you want to try and win as an Australian team, so I can understand why they want to stick together.
So will we be seeing more of you as an analyst at future events this year?
I don't know how much I can say, but I have work for the whole year, so that's pretty good. I'm trying to book in as much as I can, so if anyone else wants to hire me, hit me up. But I've got a decent amount of work coming my way, and I really want to do as many events as I can. The plan is to live on the road, which is going to be pretty hard. I won't be able to see my girlfriend Emily much, who's still going to be in Australia. But this year for me is to try and break out in this side of things and show that I am capable of talking, I suppose.
Awesome. Well, I hope to see you around, man. And thanks very much for your time. Best of luck for the rest of the year.
Thank you.
For more CSGO coverage, be sure to check out Yahoo Esports.